So here we have given f and g are two mappings, are the relations, and we have asked to find the composition of f and g, that is FOG. So what is FOG? FOG is nothing but f of g of x, where x is the input for g, and for f, g of x is the input. For f, g of x is the input. Means output of g of x is input of f. Output of g of x is the input of f here. So in this relation, or in this f and g, we can see in order pair, whenever we have a order pair, okay, the first element is always a domain element, that is input value, and the second element, that is y, is always a range, that is output value. So for g, we can see 3 is the output, 1 is the output, 3 is the output. So for f, output of g of x is the input. So 3, 1, 3 is the input values for f. So we can write f of 3, f of 1, f of 3. So 313 is the input value for f. So what is f of 3? So 3 is the input for f. So we can see this is the 3 is the input of f. So for this input, 5 is the output. So for f of 3, the value is 5. Similarly for this f of 3 also 5. And f of 1, this is 1 is the input and 2 is the output. So f of 1 will be 2. So for FOG, the input is input. So for FOG, the input is input of g of x. I'm writing here. So for FOG, input is input of g of x, and output is output of f of x. Output of f of x, or we can say the output of f of g of x. So output of f of g of x. So we can write the FOG as the very first order pair, the input. The input from, when we need to take the input from g, so it is 2, the very first 2, comma, we will check the output later. We will first write down the input value, then 5. These are input values of g of x. So for FOG, the input values are input values of g of x. So third order pair is 1 comma something. Now for FOG, the output is this one. The for FOG, in case of FOG, the input value for f is g of x. For FOG, the input value is g of x. G of x means output of g of x. Okay. So here the answer will be 5, 2, 5. So these are output values. So this is our final answer.